Hey, it's Barry with Growing Roots Farm. Got a walnut log that we milled up. It wasn't anything special. This was only about 12, 14 inches wide, and it had been down on the ground for maybe half a year or something like that. But I'm going to show you a little bit of what we've done with it. So it had the part I was interested in seeing. Let me see if I can stay out of the shadow here. Was this section right here? We had to cut it off. It had a limb or another piece coming off here, so it was a crotch. Anytime I'm milling up walnut, I'm always looking for, if you imagine a V shape where the log is merging into two limbs. I'm always looking for that. Not that I don't enjoy straight grain, because that's beautiful in its own right, but I'm always curious to see what type of figure we get. Now, I think this is close to the pith, but look at the figure we got in this. Now you got the rough saw blade marks on there, and this saw blade should have been changed a little bit ago, so it's past its prime. But you can see all the rough stuff on there. But if you look past it, you can see looks like a little bit of feathering right in there. And then that crotch. This is roughly 12 inches wide, I think. So trying to figure out just what to do with this piece. I think it's about 10 foot long. Once again, running on the Wood-Mizer LT15. We've had this thing for several years. So not a huge piece of walnut by any means, but I'm thinking right now, and I was trying to explain this to EJ as we've been working the mill, but I was trying to figure out what are we going to make out of it, and that obviously dictates how we cut it. My thinking right now is this is just shy of 3 inches thick. My thinking right now is I split the difference, make this right around 1.5 inches, and then I'm thinking a couple small coffee tables, the tops of the coffee tables in particular. I'm thinking of doing a book match, so splitting it down the center, flipping it over, joining those pieces together, doing a live edge on the ends. I hope you all can kind of understand what I'm thinking here. But yeah, so live edge on the ends, book matched, so you get kind of a mirror image. If people know what book matching means with lumber, it's where you take two consecutive cuts and you flip them over side by side, and they match up really well. So it's got a lot of sapwood in it. See a lot of the sap. Not the highest quality walnut, but walnut, I'll always work with walnut. I love it. It's still my overall, walnut's still my favorite to work with, although I really have liked spalted maple that we've had, and I really enjoy working with white oak. But that's the board we're going to do. We're going to cut it to about half its thickness. It'll be right around 1.5 inches or 6/4 lumber, and keep going from there. Done cutting it. As I was thinking, we might as well show you. I was talking about book matching, might as well show you. So we just made the cut if you flip that over and put them together, what you get and we'll just focus in on this area here. What you get is kind of a side by side of it. See where see you got the right here and right here, they match. It kind of makes, let me get over here. Sorry, every direction I try to turn, I keep getting in shadow in it. But you can see what you got is you got mirror images, essentially. It's not spot on, but it's pretty close. But that's some pretty cool figure. That's what I enjoy seeing, is some unique feature, not just straight grain. Get some interesting pieces. So I'm thinking something in the future like the top of a coffee table. Cut it about right here. That'd be about 3.5 foot long, 3-4 foot long, something like that. These would be joined together, and yeah, they'd be joined together so you wouldn't see the gap. I think that would work pretty well. And then that saves some additional lumber down here. This down here is more just straight grain. That end piece, because it had the crotch in it, that was the most interesting figure in this. Although can't quite discount. It's hard to get some of the sawdust off. Can't quite discount. You got some pretty cool lines, and even in the straight grain, you got some very pretty lumber once this stuff dries and cures out. So that's it. Thank you. Hey, so just to recap, today Everett and I were just milling up some of our older stock lumber. None of it was our what I would consider more premier or premium logs. It's really all of our smaller stuff, or just off-end cut stuff that we've accumulated. We're trying to get some of this stuff out of the way in preparation for some of the larger logs that we should be getting here soon. But I'm going to show you just some of the rough cut stuff we got. The hardest part with this, and I've learned this the hard way, and when I first started milling, I don't know how, it's been 5 or 6 years ago. When I first started milling, I was doing this all the time, and it was a headache as far as stacking and storing the lumber, and I'll show you why. And I had said I wouldn't do this again, and here I am doing it again. Go figure. So let me show you. So we've got a pretty good pile. It's a mixture. A lot of it's some pine, cedar, live edge pine. A lot of the pine I did is dimensional, and before any of you who saw, yes, none of this is stickered. I know that. We are planning to move it in the next day or two. I don't even like stacking it like this for even a day or two, but we're having to do it temporarily. We got to move some things around, down around the barns and around the kilns to be able to get all this stuff in there. So I know it's not stickered. It will be shortly. And for those of you who don't understand, maybe some of you watching don't know what stickering means. Basically, once the logs have been cut, you need to get airflow in between them. Like here, I'm just stacking lumber on top of lumber. This is all green lumber. It's all wet lumber. You do that, what you end up having is a bunch of rot and mildew and mold. We have some down at the very bottom that we had done that a couple weeks ago. We left them there. I didn't think they'd be there that long. and they're already starting to get all that on there. So we got to get this moved, especially this better material like the walnut. So we milled up, we just had one random cedar log. Like I said, we're trying to clean up some of our old stuff. So and here's what I said I would never do again, which is look at my lengths here. I've got a bunch of random length of material and a bunch of random thicknesses. I did a lot of 4/4, or roughly 1 inch, and I did some 8/4. That makes it for a pain when you're stacking all this stuff. I'll get on this other side and show you. We got a pile. The bottom part of that is all pine, and then the top part of that is all walnut. These are all, I didn't put a tape measure on the length of them. I think those are 12-foot long walnut and pine. Those pine I ended up milling up. Basically, those are 2 by 12s. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's 7 2 by 12s there. They came out of one log, and we had some other offcuts out of it. And then we got the walnut. Like I said, none of this. It's going to be a pain to stack and let it air dry. And in the future, it's going to be a pain to go in the kiln because it's all mismatched lengths and thicknesses. Which, for any of you who have done this, you understand that can be frustrating. But we got the mill wrapped up for the night, and then we'll be running it more. But essentially, today was a day for me to get a little bit caught up. I didn't get to mill as much in 23 as I'd wanted to, so trying to make more of a point here in 24 to be milling up more. Plus, in the video you got to see I've been bringing over my oldest son, bringing him over, but this year I'm trying to get my other boy involved, and he did like it. He was actually trying to push me out of the way, trying to run the mill a couple times. And I know on the video, I was standing a little bit of ways from him, but I had already gone through some training with him. I had been standing over his shoulder, walking him through. He's only 13 years old. I certainly don't want him getting hurt, but I was taking a lot of safety precautions early on just to make sure that he was okay. I didn't back up and take a video until I felt more comfortable with him. But anyway, plus the Wood-Mizer has got a lot of safety, but not a lot of safety features. But when you're standing on the back side of it where you operate everything, you got guards and things in place. So if the blade would happen to snap, all that's going out in the front. As long as you're not staying out in front, you should be okay. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll try and post a link to the kiln. We got a dehumidification kiln, and I'll post that somewhere over in here. Somewhere you'll see it popping up where you can take a look at that and see how we dry some of this lumber. Thank you, and leave me some comments. I always love them. Stay tuned for next time.